Welcome to the Your Perspective Matters podcast. I am your host, Ronald and I am excited to be here on today. It's a lot of things to be grateful for. I'm gonna be 100%. Um, but it's just leveraging how amazing, number one, my whole podcast production. Even though I'm in a space, housing wise, that I don't really want to be in, but I'm still grateful to make it to be the best that it can be, right? Specifically podcast wise. Um, I'm excited also on today because man, it's a lot to talk about in this topic, but I look good today. Like just look at the quality, look at the cat. Like my production setup it's not even nothing superb. But it is exactly what I needed, right? It didn't even cost me much to have uh my production like this. So I'm excited. I'm super excited. But I want to talk to you, right? I want to challenge you for the remaining of this podcast because I- I've been having some very interesting conversations. Number one is you have a lot of people that say, "Hey, um, I'm not a people's person." Number one, that it just irritates my soul so much. Now, granted, I understand that we've gone through some situations, we've gone through some trauma, all these different things, which I totally respect. But at the end of the day, you cannot make it if you are not focusing on being, and you don't even have to be a full blown people's person in terms of like I got to be super social or whatnot, but you do have to make sure that you at least love people. You at least care for people, right? And the reason why I feel that way, I look at it from a standpoint of myself internally. If I'm talking about people, right? I am a people. I am a person. I am that who I'm talking about. So if I say I don't want to be around you, then there's something within me that I don't want to be around many times. Am I saying that there are people that you just have to be around all the time, or am I saying that it's not good for me to separate myself from people? No. But what I'm saying is that you have to make it personal, right? You have to understand, and this is why we are so focused on um, being able to personally grow because it's your personal growth is a lot about you, but it pours into others, right? And it helps you shape your perspective as you continuously pour into yourself, as you continue to fill up your cup, as you continue to do these different things to help yourself, you're now able to view your relationships differently. Now it's no longer, okay, I hate people or I'm not a people's person. It's like, hey, who I'm excited to be able to connect with somebody on today. Or whoever I connect with or whoever comes in my path, I will do my best to be able to show some love. Because many times you might not even be able to. I don't want to say be in a position, but a right state of mind. That's very important. Being able to be in that right state of mind is so important to be able to see number one that person not to be annoying or not to be damaging to you, but to just honor them and say, you know what, I love you, I honor you, I respect you. Right? It takes respect to get respect. So, um, and I say all of this because we transition from just being people to now actually being able to choose some people. I think I can make this into a series, literally. But we go from being just a people, being a person, to actually being able to choose these people in our lives, right? One of the specific people that we choose to have in our lives is friends, right? And I know I've had a conversation on this prior, but like this is a little bit more intimate, right? This is a I'm doing a more of a deep dive on this today, right? Because I was having a conversation and literally this is what sprung up, right? Is friends. And so okay, so you are the person and then you grow to add more people to your circle, which is your friends. The first part is being able to choose the correct people in your life. Granted, there are some people that you may not fully understand why they are in your life, but you still have the choice, right? You're you grow to have a specific level of discernment of, hey, I'm no longer going to be around these types of people, or I need this kind of person in my life. So for me specifically, that's how I've grown up to be, right? Being in certain circles, especially I'm from New York. So being in New York, it's I'm not gonna say it's a lot of fake people, but it's more so a lot of people that want to latch on to you, right? They want to pull and draw from you. They want to take from you. And it's unfortunate, right? Because we live in a time, or I live in an area specifically, a state where um you become people pleasers, right? I live in a state where it's what they say hustle culture. New York is a hustle state. Like I, I want to say really the east side of the world is that hustle kind of states where we gotta get it. We just gotta get it by any means necessary. And because of that, you without you even realizing, you are subconsciously always trying to pull or take something from someone because you need to make sure you have your own. So I got to take something from you to be able to claim it as mine. I need to be able to take some, which I would prefer it to be knowledge. If you're gonna take anything, take some knowledge. Like, be able to gain something from my wisdom, like from my experiences. But it's unfortunate that it's not like that. But when it comes to friends and the people that you get to choose, oftentimes what happens is we, because they become so close to us, becomes because they've become someone that been in our lives for quite some time, we tend to get cold with them, meaning we tend to lose the spark in the relationship, we tend to lose the value in the relationship, we tend to lose the purpose of why they were even here to begin with. Sometimes we even forget the experiences that we've had. Like we start treating our friends a certain way. Like, hey, you're supposed to be here, but nah, they don't have to. They can walk out whenever they want. Everybody has free will. Nobody's not tied to nobody. And I know that this is going to sound crazy, even in marriages, right? Like you're not even tied to be married to that person for the rest of your life. You stayed it and you want it, but if things aren't going well, I gotta separate from you. I'm sorry. So when it comes to friends, you have the people that you choose, but we don't necessarily know who's our strong friend, right? That's the topic on today is checking on your strong friend, right? You don't know who is your strong friend. You start to learn that as you grow. Wow, this person is strong mentally. Wow, this person is strong spiritually. Wow, this person is very wise. Wow, this person does they take their time. They plan things out. Like these are things that you want to look for in someone sustainable as in a strong friend. A strong friend is also someone that you can lean on. And what I mean by lean on is sometimes without you even realizing it, right? Whether it's intentional, because sometimes it's intentional, whether it's intentional or it's not intentional, you tend to put on all your weight on this person without even fully asking, can you carry me? Hmm. That just like, it just hit home just now. Like, I'm thinking about how many times I have poured my, and this is not even the pouring out of good things. Like, I'm just pouring out my bad spirits. I'm pouring out my mess onto somebody without even checking to make sure, are you able to carry on the weight that I'm about to pour onto you? And it's sad. Like, I want to be honest. It's sad that we forget and we become such a selfish people where we only think about ourselves. Hey, I need to release. I need my fix. I need to make sure I'm okay. You need to make sure you answer my call. But have you considered your strong friend's feelings? Have you ever considered the situations that they're facing, the mental battles, the spiritual battles, the even physical battles that they are facing? Like, we have to take all of these things into account, so that way we can make better choices. Because if you are not making great choices with your friends, then you're not going to be stewarding well over that specific relationship, which means that you're going to eventually lose the relationship. And I heard something so profound and so interesting. Somebody recently that I heard from a podcast, they said that one of the worst breakups to have is a friendship. Oh my god, that is so good. Like, what? Yeah, I've personally I've had a lot of, I want to say a lot. I had a good amount of romantic relationships that I, had breakups in, and it hurt. It hurt because I love hard. But when it comes to my friends, like, you my dog. Like, what's up? Like, we've been in the trenches together. What's up, bro? What's up, sis? It When you get that breakup where y'all no longer can be, I ain't gonna lie, it hit different. You start ugly crying. It hits home like, hold on, you're not supposed to ever leave my life. But as I started to grow up, as I started to be in different circles and be around and amongst people and gain a different type of perspective, there was something that hit me hard. And it said that you will encounter lifetime enemies and temporary friends. Moment of silence. Moment of silence. Yeah. Yeah. It hurt. It hurt. And when I heard that, like, it didn't click in immediately. But then I think I heard it again that same day. And I'm just like, hold on. You isn't it the opposite? Like, aren't we supposed to have lifetime friends and temporary enemies? But in fact, in the real thing to understand is that you're gonna have both, right? You're gonna have some lifetime enemies and some short term enemies. And you're gonna have some lifetime friends and some short term friends, which means that you just gotta be open to both. We're usually only open to what fits our preferences. I prefer a lifetime friend over a temporary enemy. But if your enemies are what's going to help you, right? In the Bible, it talks about making your enemy your footstool. You're not going to make your friends your footstool. They're going to be coming up with you. So if my enemies are going to be my footstool, then that means that I need them. I hope this is making sense to somebody on today. I hope this is impacting. And if this is making you uncomfortable, then that's exactly what I want to do. My question to you is, do you know who your strong friends are? And then my second is, are you the strong, right? Because some of us in our circles, we might be the strong friend, but you got to recognize who your strong friends are. Even if you are a strong friend, do you have someone like you in your circle? If you don't, then you need to change your circle because then you won't grow. That's the fact of the matter. You're not going to be able to grow into something great, into something more. A part of being able to steward well over your friendships is number one, the awareness of recognizing who they are in your life. When you recognize who they are, you'll be able to give them a little bit more time. And that's what they want, right? And I wrote a couple notes down specifically on what it takes to be able to be there, or what it takes to be able to steward over those relationships, over that strong friend. How do I check on my strong friend? Number one is really just showing up, right? There's a text, something called text messaging that even the older generation should know, right? There's no excuse, right? We can be able to shoot a text. Hey, how you doing? What's going on, sis? What's going on, bro? What's going on, girl? What's going on? Whatever you want to say to them, right? You need to be able to show up because sometimes even your text is all they need. Words are powerful, but words are only as powerful as the power you put into it. So if I'm not really putting nothing behind it, then my text would just become generic. You will not, and I promise you, even though there's the stigma of when you are texting someone, you can't really feel or dissect what they're saying. If you really pay attention, or if you're really aware and open enough, you can be able to receive the power that's going through those words, literally. Like depending on, I pay attention to so many things. I'm an analyzer at heart. It is a gift. So I make sure that I'm paying attention even to your text messaging. I'm paying attention to the repetition. I'm paying attention to what changes. I'm paying attention to the caps. I'm paying attention to the spaces, the dots, your punctuation, right? Because many of us will type how we speak. So if you type how you speak, I know exactly how you sound. And depending on how you text, will show me you're faking it. You're not for real. You are not for real at all. Nah, you got to be real with me, right? I'm going to peep that, but I'm not going to always mention it to you, right? Um, that's just one of the things that I do. Like I just, it's just become a thing where um I I don't have to what's the word? I'm not going to acknowledge it because and this is just a cheat code, just so some of you guys know. I'm a person I will test you. I will test you without even knowing that you're being tested. I will do it for sure. And it's just for me to understand where your heart is, where your mindset is, where your substance, your character. What is your character? Not your personality, because your personality changes depending on the rooms you in. Your character is what you show everywhere you go. So, yeah, so text message, right? Phone calls. There's some people that say, "Hey, I don't want no phone call. I'm not." No, I don't want to hear that. Call your people. Give them a call, right? My father is one of those people that's like, "Hey, you can't say you love me and not even be able to call me, even if it's give me the." And this is what hit deep. This is why I like my father because he gonna challenge me. This is what hit deep. He said that even like you got to give me even the chance to, if you call me, for me not to pick up. Like if I don't even get a missed call from you, so what if I'm busy? So what if I'm at work? Bother me. Do something. Or if you know my time of me being off work, hit me. Hit my line. Send a voicemail. I don't even know if people still send voicemails today, but send a voicemail, right? You gotta be able to. These are some ways of being able to be there specifically for your friends, for your strong friends, because they carry a weight that you don't even realize. They carry a lot of your weight, a lot of your weight. Like, oh man, we don't even understand what we are. what we are bearing, and we don't even understand how much of it that we're putting on to the people that don't even deserve it. Our friends don't deserve this because they're going through so much right now. You got somebody that's probably going through a divorce and you still giving them your problem. Somebody going through a miscarriage, you still giving them your problem. Somebody that's going through not family but parental issues where they have issues with their parents, but still giving them your problem. Like, come on, we got to do better. We got to, and this is the next part of being able to be there for your strong friends is to pay attention to detail. You can't tell me I'm your best friend and not know when I'm down. Now, for me, I'm a little different, right? Because I don't give people a lot of my problems. But when you start to realize or listen to, when you pay attention and listen to, this is a moment that he actually wants to vent, you gotta take note. Because I'm not a person to vent much. I busted I bust that situation up in his head so much, and I just do what I gotta do. Like what? I'm gonna face it every single time. Sometimes I don't have to face it right away. Sometimes it's like, yo, you could relax. You could just be human, you know. But us as men, we carry a weight. We carry a mantra where we have to uphold greatness, right? Does greatness look like you just have to be okay all the time? No. Greatness is being able to be okay with the fact, not even okay, but being aware and vulnerable enough to say, I'm not okay. That's what greatness look like. But you still have to stand firm. You still have to stand strong on who you are because there's people on your back, especially when you are a provider, especially when you are the leader in your circle or your situation, your family, your friendship, your relationship. You are a leader. So you have to be able to act as such. So I make sure, like, I pay attention to detail. Especially if we've been friends for a long time. That means I've heard you cry. That means I've heard you mad, sad, all different emotions. I've heard it all. So I know, like one of my best friends, she called me one day and she called me in a happy mood. But I can hear through her voice, like I can hear that she just playing. Like she's fronting. Why are you fronting? You ain't got to do that with me. Not with me. I already know. So I had to confess. I'm like, "Are you okay?" She's like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm good." Kept doing her thing. I'm like, "Nah, this don't even sound like you. You ain't got to front for nobody." When I said that, she started bawling on the phone. I'm like, "Oh man, what is going on?" And a part of even paying attention to detail is you have to be able to do the personal development within yourself so you can catch it. And also, the personal development is going to be able to fill you so that way you can do number three, which is pour into their cup instead of just drinking from it. Because now that you are aware of who they are, you're now able to show up in ways like texting and calling, even in person, right? Just showing up, go on little friend dates or whatever the case may be, right? But now you paid attention to detail. When you do that enough, what happens is now you're able to, it all really stems from your personal development, even before all of this. Like you can't even know who your friends are or your strong friends are if you don't focus on personal development. If you don't focus on developing yourself every single day. When you do this, you're now able to pour out into them. Because now you're made aware, okay, these are the details of my friend. My friend is, her heart is broken. His heart is flustered. This person is walking blind. This person is mute in a room that they need to be loud. Like you'll notice that, and now you're able to pour out. The same day that I was talking to my best friend and I was expressing, well, I basically said, "Hey, you're not okay. Like, you don't have to front for nobody. Talk to me, right?" And she started bawling. I was able to refill her. I was able to pour back into her life. That's very important. Very, very, very important. Because number one, why are you my friend if you can't pour into me? Like, especially in this in the time that I'm in now. I mean, I've been like this for years, but specifically even more now. Like, I don't even the only way I want you to be around me is if it's God's purpose for you to be here in a specific season or situation, so that way I can pour out into you or I can get something from you. But if I know that you are going to be my day to day friend, my best friend, like you are going to be here for a long term, then guess what? I need to be able to pour into you as well as you pour into me. This is not a one way street. I'm not here for you to just take or just drink up my cup that I just poured all my good juice in. Like, no, I'm not about to give you all my good juice. You can have some. You can have a sip like Kevin Hart. Take a sip. You can take a sip. Take a sip. I can take a sip. You take a sip. But I don't. It should not be that you are drinking all that's in my cup. Because then, what do I have left to secure for myself? Which is why one of the boundaries is protecting your cup as the strong friend, making sure that as you are pouring into yourself, it's okay to tell your friends, I can't pour into you right now. It's okay to tell your friends, I don't have the Ooh, Jesus, that's what it was. I don't have the capacity to deal with you right now. I don't. I'm sorry. Oh, that is just, oh, it's just running through my soul. Like, did y'all hear that? Oh my goodness. And we don't even have the audacity, or we don't even have the courage enough many times to state that to our friends. Because we're just so focused on wanting to lose them that we mess up the whole process by not even being able to be true to who we are. This is how I feel. This is how I felt. I need you to know this. Have you been checking on your strong friends? If not, you need to check on them. You need to make sure they're good. Matter of fact, right now, send a text. While you're listening to this, pause this real quick. Shoot them a text. Shoot them a call. Matter of fact, show up to their crib if you got to. Hey yo, here's some flowers. Hey sis, here's here's some movie tickets. Here's some whatever it is. Like you gotta be able to be there for your friend. Check up on them. Because it is vital for your success. And your success is different from my success. Which is why it's even more so important because you just don't know how they will be able to help you. You might be in a situation where you need money financially. And they got it. But because you ain't steward over it well, when you ask, now they receiving you as, oh, this person always wants something, or why this person asking me for money? Like, why am I? What are you doing, best friend? You got money. Stop playing with me. But now there's some dialogue happening because they don't even know the full truth about your situation. All you're telling them is that you just need money. You're not even telling them that. Now there's like it's so oh my god, there's so many things that play into this because now the respect of the relationship starts to shift. Now the trust of the relationship starts to shift. If you were able to steward well over me prior, I can be able to assist you in this next season. Man, that's so good. Oh man, I feel it all in my arms. Like I don't know about y'all, but this is good. This is good. I was listening to I was having a conversation and this literally this it just came in my head like, wow, how often are we as strong friends being cared about, being thought about? As a man in general, a lot of us as men aren't cared for enough and thought about enough. But as a strong friend, whether you're male or female, I encourage you to even start recalculating what your circle looks like. The people that are around you, the people that are that you claim as your friends, are they really my friends? Are they going to be here for just the time being? Regardless of what time they playing, whether it's lifetime or part time. Number one, you be there for them, but be okay with either I gotta keep them and I gotta honor what we have, or I gotta be alert and aware enough to know that this might end. It's so crazy because I had a friendship prior, um, where I thought it would have never ended. He wasn't even a friend to me; he was a brother to me, and like, mm, I don't take that word like in church. I may call you brother more freely, but outside the church, I don't take that like right. I do not. So this man, 15 years of friendship, just and it's so crazy because when I was in Houston, I was driving and was having a really deep conversation. Very uncomfortable conversation between the both of us. But it was nonetheless a really good one. And one of the things I was telling him, I was like, I want you to be like I want you to be so aware that you could even lose this relationship between me and you. And he was like, nah, that ain't gonna never happen. And I was thinking the same thing, right? Even though I'm telling him this, I was thinking the same thing, like, yeah, this ain't never gonna happen. I'm like, yeah, me, I'm not obviously we gonna be in this forever, right? But I need you to be alert that you'll be able to lose friendships like this. Because if God calls for you to separate, then that's just what it is. If that's God's plans for your life, you cannot step in the way of that. Many times we do that. Many times we hold on to someone else's blessings while delaying our own. And that's what was happening. And I know for myself, maybe he saw it, but I know for myself, I didn't imagine losing him. It most definitely hurt. It was one of the most shocking things. But as I'm growing, it's like people have like the Kobe and Shaq relationships where like they were inseparable and now they are apart. Like that's that's the life that we live in, the day and age that we are in. So I encourage you, steward well over your friendships. Check on your strong friends because they need it. They need it more than you know. Many times they need it more than you. Like if we can be honest, they may need it more than you need it. If you are able to steward well over them and make sure they're good, they're able to make sure you are good. They're able to push you in a season where no one else can. They're able to speak life into you where everyone else was speaking for you to give up. So steward well and talk to them, conversate with, get to date them, meaning get to know them, get to know who they are as a person. You'll be shocked how much you do not know about your strong friend, how much they've never told you just because you were stubborn, just because you were whatever the case may be. They didn't tell you. But now you're creating a safe space for them, and now you're good. I appreciate you guys for joining this podcast. This has been a very exciting. I can't wait to add my host back so we can get saucy with this because I think friendship. We're going to be talking a lot. Friendship is, I don't know why, but every time I'm getting on this podcast, that's one of the things. It's really partnerships in general. Um, but yeah, I'm excited for what's going to happen. I encourage you to check on your strong friend. I encourage you as the strong friend to be able to set boundaries so you are protecting your own cup. So that way your cup stays refillable. Family, once again, I want you to know that your perspective matters. If you have not yet subscribed, you need to click that subscribe button. Go to the YouTube channel, YPM space pod, YPM space POD. That is the YouTube channel. You can subscribe to us where you're going to see all of our updates. Um, we're on Instagram as well. Show us some love. Underscore your perspective matters. Underscore your perspective matters podcast. You already know. Let's get it. I love you, family. See you on the other side.